Good morning, beloveds. Oh, he's just below the level. There he is. No, can we get those little green? No, we can't get those little green eyes up there. All right. On a serious note, I request your prayers for Lewiston, Maine. And that's all I'm going to say. Because the community definitely needs some treatment. It is October 26th. Our title is The 23rd Psalm Interpreted. Our author is Agnes J. Gaylor, and this was published in the Washington Newsletter in October of 1917. So, the 23rd Psalm interpreted. My shepherd, no more want or lack, peace and rest, in the right path. Through the valley and shadow, no more fear. Comfort and confidence abide with me. Protection from adversity, ready for service. My oil, my light never fails. My cup always filled with a supply, ready to give to others. Joy is mine. I dwell in God's holy temple, always and ever. I will praise and glorify my shepherd all of my days. All right then. There's right now I can't remember the name of it. It may be called The Way, but somebody took the Bible and put it in modern language. And sometimes I think it's helpful. And it would also be good to read them side by side. So it's like, go back and read the 23rd Psalm and then read Agnes's version of the 23rd Psalm and see if you hear the same things. And that was what's interesting about The Way, because it puts the Bible stories in modern language. There's a couple of them that do that. So I may have because there's one called The Message and one called The Way, and I don't remember which one's which. They may both be in modern language. And it was a friend of mine, one of my prayer partners, that turned me on to that modern language, because sometimes the archaic language, one, is hard to interpret, and two, it turns people off. If you have to go back and look up what a word means, there's also another one called the Hamas, which is a terrorist organization, so maybe I shouldn't pronounce it that way. And now I've got that Bible. I'll try and go get it, put it in the quote because it was named after the translator, and like I can picture it, but I can't see it. Where what he did was he went back to the original language that the stories were written in, both Aramaic and Greek, because a lot of the Christian Testament was actually written in Greek, not Aramaic. Whereas the Jewish Testament was written in, a lot of it was written in Aramaic. And so what he did was he went back to the original languages and translated it from the original languages into more modern language. Or not, he left it in there, that frame, but he translated it from the source material. Because a lot of the Bibles out there have been translated from this language to this language to this language to this language. You wanted to exercise? I forget who. I think it was a Queen song, where I want to say it was Bohemian Rhapsody is the one that I've seen the most, but where they translated Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen into another language and then translated it back into English. Okay? You want an exercise in Are You Kidding Me? Try it. Translate something that you know very well, like the Queen song, Bohemian Rhapsody, translate it into another language, and then translate it back into English, and you'll see why translating the Bible can get us into so much trouble. First off, one, the Bible is a metaphor, so one, we want to remember that when we are reading it. Don't read it on a surface level, read it on a deeper metaphorical level. And two, when it's been translated from one language to another language to another language to another language, things get lost. There's an old joke about a monk who was copying a particular passage in the Bible, and his source material had gotten so scuffed, so he was like, I'm going to go back to the original book. And then, 15 minutes later, you hear, celebrate! The word was celebrate instead of celibate. So, when we translate the Bible, we can get ourselves into trouble. So that's why it's helpful sometimes when you've got resources where, like, do you want to go learn Aramaic to read the Bible? It would be a good idea, but I don't have that kind of time. However, somebody did, and the translation, and then there's a number of reasons why ministers have bunches of Bibles, because I can count, I think, at least 6 different versions that I have. My favorite one has always been my student Bible, but because it's got every book in it. It's got maps and it's got footnotes, and the paper is paper thin, and you can see through it when you hold it up to the light, because there's so much information in it. That one has always been my favorite. And ministers have lots of Bibles for 2 reasons. One, people like to gift ministers Bibles. And if you give me a Bible, I'm never going to say no. I will absolutely take the Bible. But 2, because we'll do a comparison. Like, I'm going to look a passage up, and it would be interesting to go through all of the different kinds of Bibles that I have and read the 23rd Psalm, and then compare it to with Agnes, what Agnes said, and see if they all agree. Now, the 23rd Psalm is pretty straightforward, so they probably would. But it might be an interesting exercise if you have more than one kind of Bible. And I believe I even have the King James. I even believe that I have a version of the King James Bible, even though that's the one that I disagree with, because that one was translated with political intent. But I think it's an exercise to go back and write your favorite Bible stories, and to write your into modern language, to say, here, this is what I hear. One of my more favorite experiences as a Sunday school teacher, because I was a Sunday school teacher for a very long time, was one day I looked up all the parables of Jesus, and I came in and I would read the parable to the kids, and then we'd talk about what it meant. And then I would look up to see what the scholars said it meant. And most of the time, the children had a completely different idea from what the scholars thought. And frankly, I think their idea was better. Because they were interpreting it from the heart. They were not interpreting it with scholarly intent. They were interpreting it from the heart. And so I would suggest, especially if you're not a huge fan of the Bible, I grew up Catholic, and Catholics are not encouraged to read the Bible. They're not. They're just not. But I loved it. I had this book is a book I missed. I had an illustrated children's Bible with a lot of stories this book was huge, and with big color pictures, and I loved that thing. Oh, I loved that thing. So I am a huge fan of the Bible. I enjoy reading the Bible. I've read I can't tell you that I've sat down and read it from cover to cover, but I've pretty much read everything. Because even the books that I hadn't gotten around to when I took the Bible class in ministerial school, we read all of it. Like, I read 2/3 of the Bible in 10 weeks, and that's a lot. But go back and put it into your language and see, and also check out what other people say, how they've translated it. Not, she says interpreted, but always remember, your heart is going to be the best interpretation. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think that as an exercise, it's a good idea. So the mission today, should you choose to accept it, is to go back and look at your favorite Bible passage and put it in your own words. Put it in your own words. And see what see where you came out, see where you come out to it. Because I did enjoy her version, and I hope you did too. So Agnes J. Gaylor, Galer, from 1917. So that's your mission today. Kind of a intellectual exercise there, but it can also be an emotional exercise, because when you take the words of somebody else and put them in your own, they may mean more to you. That's one of the things about treatment. It's like, I can write a treatment for you and send it to you, and it may be wonderful, but if it doesn't quite resonate with you, then I'm going to say, don't keep it the way it is. Change any words that you need to, make it your own, use your own words. And that's what Agnes did with the 23rd Psalm. She used her own words that resonated with her. So with any spiritual exercise, I would suggest that, because if science of mind is thought wrapped in, belief is thought wrapped in feeling, use your own words. Use the words that resonate with you. All right, beloveds, I'm going to move on into the process of the rest of my day. I'm going to remind you of the spiritual practice of self-care, to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. I had made a comment about Tom and I getting up and going and voting tomorrow, but I saw something and it was like, oh no, early voting goes through next week. So we're going to do our usual Friday and go vote on Monday. So we're going to let my brother sleep in on Monday and we're going to get up and go vote. So, that's the plan. And, which is a reminder, and hopefully I'll remember to tell you this again tomorrow. Next week, I will do them. They just may not all happen at 9 a.m., depending on what is going on. I'm going to be on vacation. My brother is flying in tomorrow night. So my background will change because this is my brother's room in my house. We even call it we don't call it the guest room. We call it Gary's room. But so if you don't see me at 9, know that I will do it. I will get it done. The timing may be different. So I will try and keep them mostly, because our plans, and I'm super excited about this, we're going to hang out and watch movies. No big plans. So I'm super excited about that. I'm going to get some rest. So my brother might find out that I snore. So, because if I fall asleep watching a movie, well, then there we are. All right. And that's what I'm talking about. Do something loving, do something kind, do something compassionate for yourself. I'm planning a vacation of staying in my house. But my brother is coming to hang out with me, and he lives in Indiana, so I'm super excited. I'm going to have him for a week. There are a couple of things we are going to go do, so, there is that. So you'll get to hear some stories, I'm sure. All right. And what else is loving, kind, and compassionate? Take a deep breath before you speak. Take a walk, take a nap, take a break. Eat dessert first, which, means don't save the good stuff. It means go ahead and go out of your way more often to make the ordinary extraordinary. Use the fancy dishware, eat the fancy food, wear the fancy clothes. Go ahead and do that more often now. Don't save it for a special occasion. Your life is a special occasion. I also want to remind you that joy is a quality of God. Therefore, joy is a quality of you. No matter what is going on in the world, you deserve joy. I asked for treatment for Lewiston, Maine. That is a horrible situation, and it would be nice if those situations would stop happening here. There's more work to be done, but even in the face of that, you still deserve joy. So I encourage you to make room for joy. Set aside your treatment for your grief. Set aside your time for grief. Set aside your time for treatment. Set aside your time for joy. Okay? You deserve a little bit of joy in your life every day. Actually, you deserve a lot of joy in your life, but some days they are what they are. Please remember to set aside some time for joy every day. All right? Don't let it become a chore. let it become a beacon of hope. That's what joy is. So make room for it in your life, please. All right, beloveds. The rest of the suggestions are the same basic, easy ones. Do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like for you. Drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. Your brain works better. Your body works better. Your skin looks better when you are well hydrated. It rained overnight last night, so all the plants look a little more well hydrated, and so they're all definitely a little more perky. I do encourage you also to get that early in your day bright light. Fortunately for me, the rain is gonna it rained overnight. There was a little bit of sun this morning, and then it's gonna rain this afternoon. So I did get that. I'm always talking about that 7 to 9 a.m. Angle of the sun. That is the best for vitamin D. That is the best for helping to reset your circadian rhythms. Now, I'm going to remind you, if you get up before then or after then, or it's cloudy, artificial light will help too. All right. You can Google sun lamps. You can Google seasonal affect disorder lamps. At this point, you don't even have to, I think you can just order light bulbs that you can screw into something you already have. So, especially as we move into the darker time of the year, remember that. Please. February is always when I need those. I don't know what it is about the month of February. It just tends to be the darkest, cloudiest, rainiest. So that's when I need that help. It's out there. And then I'm going to remind you of my Ernest Holmes quote. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. It's a reminder that heaven isn't a place. It's a reminder that heaven is a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. Jesus said the kingdom of God is within you. What he's talking about is it's a state of mind. It is a state of consciousness. You come pre-installed with the kingdom of God. You come pre-installed with heaven. We call it the Christ consciousness. Every religion has it. That's what we happen to call it, because he is the best example of that. And he said, we come pre-installed with it. And he said, the password is love. That's what Jesus did. Jesus came down to teach us how to love ourselves and each other. All right. And you can always take Emma Curtis Hopkins' advice. Look for the good and praise it. Okay. When you learn to create that heavenly state of mind for yourself, you become an island of peace. You become a safe place for people in storms to rest. And you don't have to let them violate your boundaries. You can absolutely let them come in and support and rest without, tearing up your pace, because there are rules and you get to enforce them. But you also get to hold your light up so that they can see where to put their feet. That's the whole point of opening the windows of our soul, so that we can let our light shine, let our light out. Let the light out. Let the light that we are channeling from the infinite source of love, kindness, and compassion out. That's why I encourage you to practice on yourself. 1, I want you to create the habit. 2, you're your own best test subject. And 3, you deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. We want to make a world that works for everybody. We start the work on ourselves. We become better people. We make better choices. The world gets better. All right. So there's that. And as I said, Emma Curtis Hopkins is right. Look for the good and praise it. Count your blessings. Okay. Because you'll always discover you have far more than you thought you did. Okay. I'm at the social media part. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. I encourage you to go and like and subscribe and share and do all of that stuff. There are hours and hours and hours of content on the Facebook pages and the YouTube pages. So, and I'm pretty sure David has a YouTube, but I'm not sure. So, if you watch one of his videos, I'm sure he'll tell you what it is. All right. If you want to know what's going on with the center, email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact. Deep breath. Yes, constant contact. Then you will know what's going on when I don't, so that when I blank out, you can go, oh, I know where to go. All right. It happens, right? Okay, which means I need to wrap this up. So I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an amazing day, a 23rd Psalm interpretation day, a put things in your own words day, a figure out what words resonate with you day, a good day. And if that's too much pressure, simply have a day. You are a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased and well represented. You are a brilliant light. You are a divine spark. Your spirit in motion. You're God in action. Remember who you are. I like to remind you to peel back the layers of who you've been told you are by society and culture and religion and gender and all of that nonsense. Just peel it all off and get to know who God knows you to be. I can promise you that person is cool and that person is good. So, get to know the truth of your being. All right, beloveds. I'm going to move on with this vocal fry and just remind you, Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you around 9 a.m. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.